Your participation is important.
Good morning. Welcome back, and we're back with the burning issue now. I would like to sincerely apologize for bringing the Thursday edition, this particular edition of the burning issue, late. It's 10:55. That's an hour lost on our time, but we sure hope that you understand that our earlier guest, who is Mr. Thabo Kawana, the Permanent Secretary for Information and Media, was scheduled to be our guest. And at the very last minute, he got an assignment, obviously, through the head of state, or rather from the head of state, an assignment for him to attend to. And that became an unforeseen circumstance on his part. And so he couldn't make it, but he sincerely sends his apologies for that to you or our listeners. Thank you very much also for staying tuned to this particular radio station. And we're finally here. We are live on 89.9 here in Lusaka and the surrounding areas. We are also live on our partner radio stations, Tuta FM, covering Rapula on 90.7 FM. We are also live on Muchinga Radio in Muchinga Province, to be precise, in Chinsali on 88.1. Copperbelt is well covered for. We are live on iWave FM Radio in Chingola, and that is on 90.4. We are also live in Kabwe, Central Province, is well covered by Spice FM. We are live on Spice FM on 91.1, and also live in Southern Province, Mazabuka to be precise. That's where Wave FM is, but obviously covers the rest of Southern Province. We are also live on our Facebook page, and that is 5FM Radio Zambia. Later on in the course of the program, I'll give you an opportunity to call in and interact with our guest. Although looking at time, we'll see how that pans out, but we have quite a lot to discuss. Now, my guest this morning is the former defense minister. Of course, he held several other portfolios prior to being appointed former defense minister in Mr. Richwell Siamunene. It's good to see you. You're still looking as young as the last time you held that cabinet position.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, that's praise to God.
And how are you?
I'm terrific. I'm good.
Yeah.
And how are you?
I'm very well. Okay. Thank you for coming at such short notice. You still made it. We are very grateful.
Thank you very much. Also, you see, you have to be a servant.
Yes.
Once a servant, you have to continue being a servant.
Yes.
And I thought it's duty bound to come and appear here. And thank you as well for having thought among the many of the politicians and other people in the country, thought it necessary that you invite me. Thank you very much.
Yours is an interesting one, I must say, because you were appointed defense minister. That's a third highest in line from the president. That's
correct.
Third highest position in line from the president. But yours is a special one because you served in UPND as member of parliament.
Yes.
And
yes,
also you served in the Patriotic Front government as deputy minister.
Yes. Commerce there.
Commerce.
Yes.
Wallace, you were a member of parliament under UPND.
Correct.
And later on, you were dismissed from UPND.
Yes, I was expelled.
Expelled for accepting that position.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Although there are other reasons, but the main one was that one, you know.
Yeah, and so
because constitutionally they could not state clear that it's because you have accepted the appointment.
Yeah.
No, the constitution does at that time allow, even that this time allows one to appoint from members of parliament.
Yes, indeed. So then when you were expelled from the UPND, it meant that you you lost your position as member of parliament as well?
No, I had to contest this through, of course, the court.
Okay.
I took the matter to court.
To court?
Yes. And
so your expulsion was
stayed.
Okay.
Yes, until after finishing the term, the 5 years was concluded.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then you recontested your position. Did you recontest your position?
Yes, I recontested
under PF?
Under PF for that time. And
which year was that?
Yeah, that was 2016.
Yes, 2016.
And, yes, and I lost the election there because, as you know, Southern Province predominantly UPND.
Yes.
At that time, it was very difficult for any political party to win any seat there.
Yeah. But prior to that 2016 election, when your expulsion by the UPND was stayed by the courts, you continued serving in government, because then from Deputy Minister Commerce, you were moved
to Western Province.
To Western Province, yes, as Provincial Minister.
Provincial Minister. Yes.
So at this point, you are now holding a full. That's not a full cabinet minister.
Yeah, although
it's more like a deputy.
More like a deputy.
Yeah. But what is interesting is that you were still under the UPND in terms of member of parliament. So you were a member of parliament under the UPND.
Yes, correct.
And then you are moved to a very huge appointment, third in line.
No, first, before that,
yeah,
when President Lung won, he decided to bring me back to Lusaka under the Minister of Works, Supply and Communication.
That's as full cabinet minister.
No, deputy there.
Right.
After then, I worked there. I didn't even know that I was going to be elevated to such a position.
Defense.
Yeah, defense. And then it was a surprise to me to learn that I have been appointed.
Because it was a surprise, you must have probably been curious. Why you? Did you ask why you?
Yeah, because I was coming from the opposition.
That's the thing.
I was coming from the opposition, and it was, I never thought that I was going to land in such a position. At first, when we were being sworn in there, the president himself says, look, I will not give you this position to anybody. I'll hold it.
Yes, I remember.
Yes, I'll hold it myself. I'll give somebody who is dear to my heart. Me, it was not in my mind that...
were you dear to his heart?
Yeah, well, I was dear to his heart.
Were you?
I could conclude that, yes, indeed, because it eventually came to me, and that means I was dear to his heart, because he appointed even a deputy minister in the same ministry, who could have easily been
elevated to full cabinet.
Yeah, full cabinet. And then through the works of God, of course, through him, and he decided, no, this time around, I will give him, despite him coming from the opposition, because the other people within the PF, of course, did not agree. But a person who's coming from the opposition and could be given such a portfolio, and I think it surprised men. But you know the work of God.
Yeah.
Always there's a surprise.
Do you feel at that point he looked at it from a national point of view? I think the bigger picture was the
national representation.
Yeah, not whether you came from the opposition whatsoever. But I think he must have looked at it from the broader picture, which is we all serve one nation.
Yeah, but not only that, because you see, when you are giving a position to a person, you have got to do a lot of checks and
on that person,
vetting and all those things, trying to look around and see how honest is he? Is he a Zambian? Is he what? You know, coming from Sinazongwe, which is a border Zimbabwe, there, so is he a Zambian? What? All those things were taken into consideration. Sometimes they even go to go and see the grave of your forefather. So because that's such a huge position, a very sensitive position for that matter.
But did you ask why? Why you? Did you ever get to learn, of all people, why did you appoint me? Just for the sake of wanting to know.
Whom do I ask? I ask, why me, God? Let me go and save.
I get it.
Yeah.
So it's once again we're having you here to have a conversation around how safe we can look after this nation. Your contribution is key in this matter. There have been issues arising from the fact that we are in this situation, a drought, meaning that hunger is looming. And since the UPND government took over, the UPND took over government, they have seemingly been utilizing Defense Force, ZNS to be precise, as one arm of government that you feel would help, with, trying to at least cushion the extent to which the hunger situation would escalate to. And so there's been an appeal, there's been suggestions that maybe it's time to utilize the entire Defense Force in as far as production is concerned. I don't know what your position would be, especially that you once held that position as Minister of Defense. Do you think that the call is timely?
Well, thank you very much for that kind of question. And I did not greet the listeners.
The listeners.
Yeah. Wherever you are listening me, I say good morning. May you receive God's blessings.
Great.
I think the truth here must be told. When I was a defense minister, I was assigned and I made a program that I go to China and see how best they are utilizing the defense force. And I saw that they are involved in various sectors, and textile industry, automobile industry, road construction, farming, and so on and so forth. So they are key there in terms of production or food security.
Right.
They are key. And I designed this move.
Okay.
That we should replicate what is happening there. And that move was, I left that program within the defense system. And that's why we were talking about ZNS owning a lot of farms, and also these, you remember,
yes,
the mining companies.
Yes.
They were started with during the PFO time, and that was my time.
Yeah.
When that was.
So that was the implementation of what you grasped from China.
Correct. And that's why we thought that, look, we have these men and women
in uniform,
who are specialized, who are disciplined, who are mentally prepared, physically prepared, and we have no wars, and we don't anticipate to have wars. Why can't we use them in this particular sector where they can be involved in various human pursuits or human endeavors? And then we also bought some farming equipment, and that was designed, and we started even with production. And I remember at one time I announced even in Parliament the production at that time, that ZNS is increasing every year in terms of production.
Yes.
I think that was a move, and I support this move because it's one of the surest way of having Zambia food secure. And not only food secure, in many other respects. We have engineers there, qualified engineers, who can undertake any road project. That's why I was insisting that I was looking at this road project that we are doing, the dual carriageway. I thought that maybe we could have given ZNS or any defense force or combined one. And then if there are certain expertise that we need, we could easily hire and allow them to do the road. I think that's where we will able to be able to improve our currency, even our productivity, even our currency, because we will not be able to get those foreign companies. When foreign companies come, they, to a certain extent, they externalize the money that they have raised, and thereby putting pressure on your currency. So these are things that we thought it's a good move. If government is moving toward this direction, I think it's a move in the right direction, and it will yield a lot of positives in the future.
Right.
Because these men and women in uniform, they are already on our payroll. They are being paid. Some they are being paid, they are doing nothing there. So if you involve them in this way, then you find that you will not lose a lot, because they are already on the payroll. The only thing that you are going to pay maybe allowances and so on and so forth. And at the same time, if you have a number of farms, okay, in various districts, not only farms or creating industries in various districts where the defense force is involved, that what they are going to do is they will mop up those unemployed youth, get them involved in whatever activities that they have in that district. And by so doing, you reduce unemployment, and the productivity will go up, such that you will even be able to export. We have even in Mupepetre there in Serenje, we have various industries that were done by the defense force, even manufacturing in Lusaka here, where they are making pots and so on and so forth. All these are things that we can use the defense force to produce various commodities or goods for consumption, and as well as exports. So I think that this is the right move which the government has taken, and it must be implemented right now. Coming to irrigation, and that is also in terms of farming, because you see, I want to also be part of the blame. I don't want to move myself out. This so-called drought,
yes,
it's not a new phenomenon. It's not a new thing to this country. We have had drought
before. Yeah.
And we did not do any planning whatsoever to say, okay, since we have drought, what do? Let's harvest our water enough. Instead of allowing the water to go to the Indian Ocean or Atlantic Ocean, why can't you block it and then harvest it? So that in the times of drought, you are able to use the water that you have harvested. Okay, that is how that's supposed to be done. And the country itself, we have failed. And this is why we are saying now the move now should be different. Let us harvest the water enough, and let's know how much water we need to irrigate the crops. Okay, and then also you can have solar farms, which you can drill commercial boreholes. When I was a chairman for Southern Water and Sewerage, we did a survey, like say in Southern Province, where we wanted to estimate and see, although there were already survey that was done under the water department, but we had to do ours and see to which district will give us a problem. So we found that there is enough underground water which we can use. We did one in Sinazonge, Sinazeze.
Yes.
I think we spent about 280,000 kwacha, and this is feeding the township very well. So if you do such a thing, then you find that within a radius of kilometers, right, left, you run the pipes, and they will be able to water the crops during the time of none. These are things that we can do. I think we should now move away from this. We have done so much politics in this country. I think there is need now to say, okay, let's group ourselves. Let's see what the country needs. Let's work together. Those in government and those in the opposition, let's work together for the sake of Zambia. We want to make this country prosperous. And how do we make it? We can only make it if we get united on certain things. Okay, so if we unite in that regard, the members of parliament say, no, in those area, drought-prone area, why can't we take this CDF and do commercial boreholes in those areas that are prone with drought, and do those boreholes, and then you have, because the first thing must be food. Because you cannot come here on empty stomach. You cannot, a policeman or woman will not go to work on an empty stomach. So food is paramount. Food is central to our well-being. So it must be taken as such. So that is why I'm saying, if we do things different, this country will be different. But the only thing that we have is that politicians, they are preoccupied to get into government. Even when he has no program, he wants to get into government. Those in government, they say, we want to protect our position in government so that we don't allow others. No, the way of doing protection is to do what the Zambian people want. Then you have protected yourself. So that is what I am saying.
Interesting. I know that it's of interest that as defense minister, then you took time to go and see what our colleagues in China are doing, and you got an exact concept and came here to implement it. I'm not sure whether you've kept track of what has been abandoned and what is still working, but I've also noticed that you touched on the issue of defense in China are also in textile. And is that the reason
even
why
automobile? Yes.
Is that the reason why we saw Mulungushi textiles being handed over to defense? Was that one of the strategies or indeed implementation that you?
Yeah, that's one of them, because even in Makeni here we have a textile which can be revamped, and the move was that all the uniform and whatever, because we were spending money to buy this uniform for the
defense force,
for defense force, not only defense force, even police force and
yes,
and other security agencies. So all these uniform that we could easily do them here. We could easily, and we are spending a huge amount of. There are so many areas where we are making our Kwacha week. Even things that are easy to be made here in Zambia. One, because me as a politician, I want to have a commission from that person who wants to supply, and I want somebody from outside to supply. We mean we can grow our own capacities within our country. And these are the things that we have ignored as a country. And we are talking about the Kwacha. There are so many factors that compound the depreciation of Kwacha. So, because these are small things. So, not only that, because even these who are coming here, you see, I will tell you that some of the companies that are coming from China or whatever, that are here working, they are owned by government. They are government companies.
That's the Chinese government.
Yes, Chinese government. They are coming from provinces. Why are they thriving? Because they have a management system that is tight enough to make sure that whoever does not perform, he's given the door open to exit. So if we do that, it doesn't mean that a government company cannot perform. If we follow governance system, governance credentials, how the company is supposed to be run. Those in the private, why are they succeeding? Because they are following certain rules and principles of governance, and they are succeeding. Why can't we replicate the same to even the state-owned companies? They can also manage to
and compete favorably.
Because they are human beings. And at the end of the day, who are managing there? They are human beings. Okay, so they can also do that. Only that where we are coming from is that in Chaboma. Yeah. So you are relaxed because you know that when you are employed, because you are employed by government, then you are assured that you will stay in that position. You will not stay in that position because of performance. You are going to stay there as long as you live, because even when you don't perform, we are not producing results or positive results for that matter. You will stay there. So if we move away from that mindset and put up stringent measures that once you are employed in the company, they are deliverables. Without those deliverables, there is no one who is going to fire you. You fire yourself because you have not delivered. You are here to deliver. And once they have given that kind of condition, and then I know that people will have that sense. If I don't deliver here, I will exit. And then because they fear that I will exit, they will do what is correct. As a way, the private companies are thriving. So it doesn't mean that government can own a company which can thrive. I can tell you that because I have seen that. I've been taken to those companies that are thriving in China, which are government owned. Why are they succeeding? Because they have rules and regulations that are tight enough, that are performance based. So that is what we can do as a country. I think these arguments, this and this, will not help us. Let us look at what we have as a country. Okay? What we have as a country. What is it that we can exchange with the other countries?
There also has been other stakeholders in the political circles that have similarly proposed the use of the defense force in mining. Is this achievable?
You see, we are not only talking about using the defense forces in mining. Mining can be done even by you. Mining can be done by a villager. Okay? Mining can be done by anybody, as long as you see they are given the environment, good environment that they can perform. They will perform. Okay? Say, for example, you had this issue of I sometimes let's say that we don't love this country, because if you see exactly what happened in Constituency somewhere there, and where the villagers, they are mining, they are extracting gold from there. Okay, now they are making money, and these are Zambians, and then you go there and say, look, don't do this. Then you say, let the private investor, foreign investor come and start mining. Why can't you just grow the capacity of those people who are already mining, since they are Zambians? Because since they are Zambians, the money that you are going to have, I will benefit myself. Even when I'm in Southern Province, I will still benefit, because that person who will come and buy, will come and buy something in Osaka. Or that person, the one who is in Southern Province, since they are growing, they have goats there, or animals, they will take the money, they will take the goats to Sorwezi. And then by so doing, they will benefit, the whole country will benefit. I think we have not done well as a country. We have undermined ourselves for so long. And that's why no wonder we are here, because we don't know what we have. We don't know our value. We are not utilizing our value. Zambians, they must value themselves, that they have the capacity, they can do something. Why don't you just give them, if they are using picks there, we want them to extract, why can't you give them excavator? Give them the excavator. Let them do a cooperative there. They mine. And then government itself buys
the gold.
Yes, they buy the gold and keep it, because God is the one that can bring the kwasha, make the kwasha strong. Okay? So once you do that, you are stocking that, then the whole world will know that Zambia has so much gold stock. And by so doing,
was that a concept when that was started under the PF? Because it was under the PF that we heard that gold was being bought, and of course, I think there was
I think Bank of Zambia, yes.
Yeah, there was Zamgold, the company that was obviously procuring on behalf of government, and it was being kept with the Bank of Zambia. Was that the concept?
That is a concept, half concept, of course. Mine is to start from mining.
Yes.
The Zambian must be involved. Okay? Then the government takes over. And then those are people, because government cannot fail to find the market for God. Is to always find. And let those people give the equipment, and maybe employ a technical expert that if you are lacking a technical expert or the machinery or whatever, that God is since he has got value, you can still have it as a collateral for the mining equipment and whatever, so that we grow our own people, we grow our own millionaires. When we grow Zambian millionaires, then you will know that this country will develop. Because if, for example, you have a gold mine yourself, you produce enough, what are you going to do? All that money that you have, you will not take it outside, isn't it? You will keep it in one of the Zambian banks. And the Zambian banks, what is it going to do? They're not going to keep that money in the bank. What they're going to do is they will lend that money to other people. And other people who are involved in other sectors. Maybe they're in tourism, maybe they're in whatever. They will lend. And when you have that enough liquidity in the economy, that means that even the interest rate will be lower because they'll have more money to do that. So these are things that we need to do as a country right now. Let's not, oh no, somebody can say, no, why that man is talking like that because he was in the government. Why didn't you do? You see, I myself, you see, when you are looking at that, you need to do to advance, to make Zambia a prosperous nation. What do we need to do? We need to empower our own people. Monies must be circulating within our own people. Once the money circulates within ourselves, then it means that other industries, other sectors will also flourish, because mining is going to be the mother, feeding other sectors. So we must put deliberate policy. These are deliberate policies that you need to do, and you must be, as a politician. There's a lot of temptation when you are a politician, if you are in those positions, because people come to say, I offer this one, I want that, I want. So you find that you will sacrifice national interests, okay, for personal gain.
Yeah.
And then once you have that, then you have lost it. The country has lost it. Because those people, they will not be taken serious. Those who are going to invest, once they give me a commission, for example, if they give me a commission and they want to do a road, okay, and I have a benefit, am I going to inspect that road correctly that it has not been done properly? Even when it has not been done properly, because I'm the beneficiary of that I will just keep quiet. And then the road will reduce its lifespan. Maybe instead of having 10 years, to go to 1 year. And then you are going road, which you did last year. I think these are issues that those who want to get into politics have to consider. That I'm going there to save the country, and to make sure that my country, my contribution does help the country to move from where it is now to a certain level.
So then I have to ask you a difficult question.
You are welcome.
How do you rate the performance of the UPND, this fine government?
Well, although I'm coming from the philosophy where I don't rate people, but I will say that they have to do a lot. A lot they have to do. They are not yet out. They are still within the 90 minutes that the Zambian people gave them. So they are remaining with the 2 years. So they have to do those things that the Zambian people feel that they have not been done. So how they are going to, what speed they are going to do, it's up to them. But otherwise, what I can say that
so far
they have not. So far, there's a lot to be done. There is a lot to be done.
I know that's futuristic.
Yes,
but looking back, since they took over, you think that they are getting somewhere?
If you ask me that kind of question, because it's a wholesome question,
and I did say it's a difficult question.
It's a wholesome question, because specifically there are certain things, of course, that they have done well. Okay, for example, in the media, at least we are able to talk the way we are relating now. We are not seeing the cadres coming and saying, surrounding this place, and so all those there are those. But in terms of delivering according to their promises,
yes,
okay, according to their promises, there are certain promises that they made, they pronounced that they made, that they need to do. The next 2 years, let them do them. And that's what I can say.
Let's discuss CDF, increased CDF. it's a flagship for the UPND. I mean, anywhere you go, they will tell you this government, for the first time, it increased CDF, meaning that they are trying to decentralize resources. And they are saying, you know, the president has on several occasions said that money was always here in Lusaka, but now we are taking money to the people. This CDF, according to the UPND, they are saying it's a game changer. Do you agree? You have been member of parliament before. You know what is involved in as far as development of a constituency is concerned.
You see, a pronouncement can be made.
Right.
Actualization
is another.
So for me, the move itself to increase CDF is the right way. I'm an advocate for self-determination. That the people in Kasama, the people in Mansa, the people in Livingstone, the people in Kabwe, Chipata, Mungu, they must determine their own affairs.
Right.
So, taking the money in that nature and leaving them to decide on what is good for themselves, it's the right way. Now, if you take it there and then you are still putting rules and regulations how they should utilize, it's not. It
dilutes the
whole purpose. You understand?
Right.
So, if, for example, those who are in those areas, the Zambian people know exactly. Because you see, if you are just pronouncing the things and then on the ground there is nothing, again, it's a negative on your part. I think they need to go, and there are certain things that they need to do. Because one of the constituency where the under education platform, because they have programs under education where they're giving out money for those educational loans and so on and so forth.
Right.
And then people are being trained somewhere else.
Skills development.
Developing.
Yes.
And I think, for example, the money that was given there, then the training was done in Eastern Province. Okay? From Eastern Province, the training was done in Southern Province. Now, a constituency development fund must be able to circulate within the constituency. So if there is any contractor, we must make sure that the contractor comes from that same constituency. Workers comes from that constituency, because it's the money that belongs to those people who are in that particular constituency. So if that is the way it is done, because I'm not a member of parliament now, I would have pinpointed that no, in mine it has not worked. I don't know. I'm hearing different stories.
I hear what you're saying, especially on skills development, because there are some constituencies in the most remote places that don't have colleges, for example, where skills development can be attained from.
Yes.
They have to come to Lusaka, for example. So meaning that when these fees are paid, they are paid to a college in Lusaka. And the money is not within the constituency at that point. I understand your point. But in this case, what would be the solution? I mean, set up colleges in those as well? I mean, how do we...
You have hit the nail when you say it. First thing first, you have to set up colleges there. Build the college. How much does the cost? It will cost about maybe perhaps 700 to start with, 800 skills training college. You set up the college within the districts, and then maybe that you say, okay, since we don't have a college here in this constituency or in this district, in some of the constituencies they have, you find that there are 3 constituencies in one district. Why can't they share the amount? Okay, your percentage, 20%, 20%, 20%. Let's put it together and build a training institute within this district. Then it means that the money will be circulating within the district. I think that is the way I thought they could have started with, building some colleges there. There's institutions there.
Yeah. There's been a call. Let me take you to the political front now. I mean, there's been complaints by the opposition that in this country, under the UPND government, they have seen the shrinking space in as far as democracy is concerned. Do you agree with that?
Well, for me, I've always said this, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it even whenever, because journalists they always ask that question.
Okay.
Democratic space that is shrinking or eroding of democratic space, depending whatever word that you use, whatever school where you came from. So, according to your vocabulary, but
Right.
still, I still want to state this, and I want to say this as a Zambians, not a politician, not anybody, not aligned with one political party or other. I want to state this. I've seen this. I was in government, and I've seen this issue. You see, that statement, it is like removing the cobwebs. That every day you are removing cobwebs. You are, these cobwebs. These cobwebs. You are avoiding the causality. The cause of the cobwebs is what? It's a spider. So we had, you and me, this, I know this 5FM is an old.
We just turned 20 years in broadcasting.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. This is an old radio station.
Right.
Now, being an old radio station, have you, within your existence, you existed when UPND was in opposition.
Yes.
You existed when PF was in opposition.
Yes.
If you recall, PF complained at that time that there is a shrinking in democratic space. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
PF came into power. What did they do to reduce that? So that there is that complaint that they were having will not manifest itself in the near future. Nothing after they got into government. Now, UPND,
they complained.
They complained. You heard that they were saying we wanted to hold a rally this side. Now we have been bad. The police, some of the police have lost their jobs because there was that confrontation. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Now, they are in government now. Okay? The MMD, the PF was in government then. When they were in government, did they complain that the democratic space was shrinking?
No.
Now, have the laws changed?
No.
The same laws. So where is the problem? Is it the cobweb or the spider? So remove the spider, then there will be no cobwebs tomorrow. So the only thing that is there now, our laws are not good enough to favor every Zambian, to favor the opposition and to favor the ruling party. So what is happening right now is that even it happened before, is that the police, they cannot work independent. They will have to protect, they will make sure that they protect the ruling party, those who are in the ruling party. Why? Because if they don't do that, tomorrow they will not be employed. So they have got to do that. Now, have we put laws enough to guard the excesses of those who are in power? There were excesses when PF was there. Of course, the police, no one complained. Did you hear anyone? Did you hear any minister complaining about the police? That time when PF was in power. Are you hearing now any minister who is complaining that the police are not conducting? Huh?
No.
They are not here. So we are not dealing with the root cause. Huh? We are dealing with the effect. The effect, they have the cause. And the cause is that the laws are not good enough to protect those who are given the duty to function in certain area, in this case, the police. So the police will not perform professionally because of the rules and regulation that is surrounding them. It's the environment in which they find themselves in, and they have to conduct in that manner. So if they are given in that a different environment, they will conduct in a fair manner. So that is the same laws that the PF when it was in the government, the same laws the UPND now are using. So we made a mistake ourselves when we are government at PF. What did we do to change the laws? We could have changed, and then the laws would have protected us. Then if it becomes a constitutional matter, we would have taken to a constitutional court and said, no, there is a violation of the constitution here. Now, because we did not do something, and then we are faced with this. Okay? So that is...
So it's ridiculous to have former PF ministers complain about the shrinking democratic space.
Yeah, because for me, I find it ununderstandable. Yes, I would complain. I think the whole issue here is the laws that govern. These good men, Archbishop Mpundu, you remember very well.
Yes.
He was accused of being UPND. You remember?
Yes.
Because he fought for the same. And the Changara, you remember
yes.
very well. Eh?
Yes.
They were accused. Who accused them? UPF, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Were they in good relationship with the PF? The answer is no. Why? Because they were advocating for that. And the same thing that they are fighting that time is the same thing. So that's why I'm saying they should trust the system. Don't trust individuals. Let us trust the system. The system must be perfected enough that is strong to protect every Zambian. Politicians will not protect all of us. They will protect those who belong to their own political parties. UPND was crying when they are in opposition. You know that. And today PF is crying when the UPND is in power. So these are things that we are Zambian. Why are we not learning anyway?
That's a question.
Why are we not learning? Why don't we learn? We were still complaining about democratic space. But yet the UPND and the same experience was there. Let's cry for something that will stop this issue of eroding or not living according to democratic tendencies. I think that is what we should cry for.
So what is your advice in this case? What is your advice in this case to the UPND? Because they may not rule forever.
Yes.
And if they don't change something about it now,
it will affect them.
It will affect them.
Correct, it will affect them. It's a boomerang.
So the big question
is like a bouncing ball.
So the big question is, what's wrong with this law? Why is it seemingly untouchable, unchangeable law? It looks like it protects you when you are in there. It doesn't protect you when you're
outside. So once you get in there, it becomes your friend. When you are out, it becomes your enemy. You get they will use the same weapon. So they are using the same thing. Because you see, the story now which is coming from the opposition and the story that is coming from the ruling party, is it not the same story that was coming that time? It's the same story. There is nothing that has changed. The complaint are the same. So that is why we really needed to transcend the Zambian. So look, enough is enough. We have, if you are not careful, if there are bad laws, and then you have a bad, not a leader who will not look at the lives of the people, so they will degenerate ourselves into something that is unbearable in terms of human rights and social justice and even ethical rights. So I think that is my view. My view is that the democratic space right now, it is eroded. The democratic space right that time when there was UPND, it was eroded. So that is my view, and that is my personal view and conviction that it is not the police who are bad. It's the laws in which they find themselves there. Because, for example, if one policeman or a policewoman acts to defend the opposition, or goes ahead to give those who wants to have a rally, and then you go and have a rally, what will happen tomorrow? You know the results tomorrow, isn't it? Will be dismissed, isn't it? And you see, and then that's where he feeds.
But also the law does not require that you get permission from the police to have a rally, but to basically inform the police of your intention.
Why are you informing the police?
So that they can give a security advice.
Yes, they will tell you now, we don't have that security. We see a security threat. So we cannot permit you to go ahead, because they are mandated to make sure that there is internal security and law and order. Oh, you understand? So they are going to tell you, no, there will be disorder. We have information, because they have their own intelligence. We have information that this rally that you are trying to conduct, there are some people, there will be a lot of human disobedience, and as a result, we are not giving you the permit to go ahead. You understand? It still comes to the same thing.
Yeah, and then the democratic space, in as far as erosion of it, has been extended to registrar of society. I think you've heard more of the registrar of society now than ever before. And then this has come also at the back of the fact that we have the United Kwacha Alliance, UKA, who have been singing songs, and of course made the Home Affairs Minister yesterday issue a statement around them that it's an illegal institution. What is your position on UKA really? This is an alliance of different political parties. Is that the solution to giving better checks and balances to the current government, or this is merely a goal to take out the current government in power?
Yeah, I don't know the motive behind we have seen that alliance. The motive behind the alliance. If the motive behind the alliance is just to take somebody from power, and I think it's not right. If the alliance is just because you people, we have a better way of conducting
checks and balances.
Yes, or government businesses.
Yes.
And then this is what they are doing. They are not doing a correct thing. And then they have the right to group themselves and offer a solution to the challenge that the people are facing. Because it's a solution that we are looking at. The Zambian people are looking for a solution. They are not looking for a group of people, Siamunene and yourself and whoever they join. No. They are looking for solutions. Do they have the solution? If they have the solution, you sell that solution to the Zambian people. And the Zambian people, they are wise enough to make a decision, because they are the one who knows where this government is taking them. They are the one who knows that they are not taking them anywhere. And then they will decide which way to go, depending on your solutions. Solutions, because Zambian, they have a lot of challenges that we are facing here in this country. And then anyone who wants to venture into politics, and anyone who wants to give himself or herself to Zambian people, must have a written or an idea how the challenges will be alleviated. I think that is the issue. It's not about a group of people. It is the solution one has. So if you want just to say, I don't want Siamunene, don't hate me personally, hate what I do. So if I'm doing something wrong, yes, you have the right to say, no. Me, I can do better. This is what I have. This is how I'm going to manage. This is how I'm going to reduce the kwacha. This is what I'm going to empower the Zambian people. This is how I'm going to reduce unemployment. This is how I'm going to do all number of things that surround the issue of Zambia. Then you have the Zambian people make a judgment, not necessarily just wanting to remove somebody or anybody. No, there must be solutions to the challenges that they're facing, because the Zambian people know what they want at any given time.
My guest this morning on the burning issue is former Defense Minister in Richwell, Siamunene. And of course, I will take a few calls soon. I will open the phone lines on 0955221515. Now, I have one question before we open the phone lines. Again, another difficult question for you, because this involves your former boss, number 3 from him.
Okay.
Who has made a return into politics. Wise move, wise decision, you think?
Well,
others are saying he retired, yes, but also others are saying, I think as a retired president and the only former president this country has, he should have taken his retirement seriously, backseat, and be a hive of wisdom for even the current president and indeed the entire government. But he's back into politics. Others feel he has lost it. What's your thought?
As you are aware that he's still my boss.
Yes.
And certain things that I do myself there, we advise each other in the closed doors.
Right.
So I don't want to say something and I may have an opinion here.
Okay.
But I would rather reserve it that we relate to each other very, very well. He appointed me defense minister. He trusted me very well, and I want to remain in that relationship, in that order. So we talk, and there's no problem. Otherwise, he has enough wisdom. He has enough experience. Yes, he can advise the nation in which way to go, which direction to go. So, of course, he has a right. He has, according to his perspective, that he has to get involved. Maybe he says he's the only answer to the challenges that are facing.
Yeah.
But of course, he has the right to.
And you respect his decision.
I respect his decision.
Right.
I may agree, I may not agree with it, but otherwise I respect his decision.
Give me a yes or no. Did he consult you on this? Never mind what your input was, but did he consult widely such that even you, as one he had appointed as his defense minister, he decided to consult you on this?
It was his personal, if he has decided. I don't know whether he has decided.
But did he consult you?
I don't know whether he has decided. Up to now, I don't know. I cannot say he has decided. All what I know is that he's still assessing the situation and consulting. Maybe he'll still come back to me and he consult and say, what do I do on this?
If he did. If he
I'll
did.
reserve my...
Fair enough. Fair enough, Honorable. Let me take phone calls for now on 0955-221515. Once again, I must say that sincere apologies. We started our program late. This was due to the fact that our guest area would have been our guest in Mr. Tabo Kawana, the PS of Information and Media. At the last minute, he got an assignment from the head of state and he had to attend to that. And so we thankfully managed to get Honorable Richwell Siamunene, who is a former defense minister, to be our guest. And like I said, thankfully he was able to make it, although, late, but we do understand that it was at short notice. So we'll take your phone calls right now on 0955-221515. You can have your headsets on, Honorable. Then we can. Good morning, Elvis. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Zaki, for giving me this opportunity.
And please stick to a minute because you understand the situation I'm in now,
yes,
right?
I understand.
Please.
Thank you. Good morning, Honorable Siamunene.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. You well spoken. I just heard you sprung up after a long time when you were saying the democratic space has shrunk in this country. And it's true. What you said was true. The democratic space has shrunk. If it wasn't for the PF to be giving UPND space to campaign, the UPND would not have been in government today. But the UPND, since they came into power, they haven't allowed any political party to campaign. Secondly, the UPND is one of the governments which have arrested most of the opposition political party leaders. Today, most of the political party leaders are in court. So, for you, as a former defense minister, how do you see the autocratic rule of the UPND compared to other governments previously? Because the UPND said they are coming to restore democracy, but they have done the opposite. So how do you judge them? Where do you put them as it now? how do you judge them in the process of democracy?
Thank you, Elvis.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. We'll take note of that. You can just take note of that, Honorable. Let me take another call. Good morning.
Good morning, Zaki.
Good morning, Proud.
Honorable Siamunene,
Proud, Mwabuga, Doctor.
Comfortable garden.
Communal garden, wouldn't this well?
Zaki, that one is my brother.
Is it?
No matter is belonging to another political party, that is the democracy.
Right.
I want to urge him when they go to Ukwa to stand as a president in Ukwa. Not to allow again Varungu to be luring him again. Because every person has got a potential to rule this country. Including me, after 10 we have a president by HH. I'll stand as a UPND president in the future. Or after 40 years. I don't want to go back. That is an example to our commander-in-chief. So, Mr. Siamunene, we have seen what you have worked as a defense. That is behind the tragic record, Baba. You got your own home in Nazongwe, you got a stable family, you got a stable chief. Don't be right behind the one with Nagumozi Stivaziwa. Yaguti or Capella Wankarakuti or Wankarakuti. No. So you started dreaming we got the people like Emmanuel Mama. You was in a super servant. They are now starting misleading him. A politician who have failed, you know, Makebe Zulu. Right now, when you go to Israel, no employment in Israel. When you go to Copper Belt, no any employment. It was Emmanuel. And they will, including this, very total number campaign. I can be home affairs in UPND. Now the job I wanted to, after the time we have a Jack move of the Home Affairs Minister before I come to the public president.
Thank you, Dr. Proud. Thank you so much for coming.
Very much.
Indeed, we appreciate. Now, I've got a text message here. Says, "Morning, Mr. Richwell, Pemba. Is that what you are? Pemba. They are calling you Pemba. Looking at the happenings in the country, do you still have the heart for the UPND?" This is Sims in Lusaka. Thank you very much, Sims, for your message. There's one again here from, this one says, do you mean police are now cadres to the ruling party to protect so that their jobs are protected? This is James Pamutenda, right? Rather, this is James Mutenda, yes. Just take note of that. Let me give you another call. Good morning.
Zaki, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very fine. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Is this
wonderful? You are talking to Brother Namanda in Kampumba.
Brother Namanda in Kampumba. Brother Namanda, welcome.
Wonderful. Comrade Siamunene, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Namanda.
Thank you, my brother. Comrade Siamunene.
Yes, sir.
You are speaking and we are listening. Now, what you have to know is that the police, they have to protect everyone, protect life and the property. It's either you are in government or not, even where you are seated there with Zach, you are protected by the police. So, that arrogance we are seeing in Ukwa, is not something which is acceptable. You are fully aware that Ukwa is not registered. Why should they want to dare the police and go ahead with a rally using an unregistered entity, an illegal entity? The way they were doing during PF, because they were not following the law. The government have told them, the police have to go and register Ukwa, then you come and inform us that you want to have a rally, period. But it's arrogant. When you look at even the statements coming from their leaders, no, if they provoke you, you have to retaliate, to start beating them. Is that the way to go? Is that the way we are going to govern this country? UPND has set a place of freedom for everyone in this country, and people have got freedom. Someone was saying, no, UPND was not allowed to campaign. You are aware that even during 2021 elections, we were not allowed to have rallies. We were having closed door meetings. The PF could not allow us to hold rallies, even mobilizing. We were having meetings closed door. Hotel, that's where we are having our meetings. Even them, we are allowing them to have meetings. They are having press briefings anytime at all costs. Have we ever seen the police blocking them? Meaning there's democracy. Democracy is now at 90% in our country. But during PF, democracy was nowhere there. You saw how people were being killed at Ashuka ground.
Thank you, Brother Namanda.
So in conclusion, Zaki, the PF and the UQA, they are dead and buried.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brother Namanda. Let me hear you respond to some of those, your reactions.
Well, I think if you go to the argument from the chorus, there are those who are saying, look, there is democracy now. There are those who are saying, no, at that time of PF, democracy was flourishing. That's why your UPND won the election. I think I still stick to my point. There is a problem somewhere. You see, when you are in these political parties, sometimes you are blinded because you belong to one political party and you think that all is well. Okay? When you come out, that's when you see that these things are not well here. You see, that is the nature of politicians in Zambia. We are there not only to state things as they are. When you are in this party, whatever one person does who belongs to your political party, you will not see that mistake. Okay? That is why I'm saying, look, I think the problem here is that we need to relook our laws. Which of these laws are drifting us to the biasness? Okay, that's that the police are accused. That time they were calling their cadres for PF. Now again, there's a person who says no, they are cadres for the UPND. I think these are things that have come, and these things have come. Let's stop for a moment as a country and say, look, where is the problem? Is it the problem with our laws? Is it a problem with the politicians? But at the same time, politicians are supposed to be guided by statutes. They are supposed to operate within prescribed perimeters. Okay? If again they say, look, they are not operating within prescribed perimeters. Now, what remedy can we do? There must be a remedy such that the Constitution itself must be able to say, okay, if somebody operates outside this perimeter, the Constitution provides a way how that person can be punished. Oh, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I still come to the point that there must be a problem somewhere. In order for us to have peace, in order for us to live in the country where everyone is free to mingle, is free to work, and then develop our country, we really need to do something radical here, something strange, such that those who are from the ruling party, those who are from the opposition, will be able to enjoy in all fairness.
Democratic space. Yeah.
Yes.
So let me give you. I think you used the well. I think all callers were summarized in what you have just responded. I've got a message here. It says, "Morning, Uncle Zach and Honorable Steed. It's great to listen to someone who has held a high portfolio before talk like that without any biasness. It's like he read my mind, and probably that of a lot of Zambians. I have been asking myself why government can't involve the military full throttle to do maize farming, even when it's not rainy season, so as to prevent hunger, even in amidst drought. That can surely be done because those people are well able. It will be good for the country, really, because we have the technocrats. Maybe just the machinery. It would be good for you, sir, to find a way of working with the current government to better our beloved nation. I'm sure as politicians, you are not enemies in real life, aside from disagreements here and there. Please keep up the good work. Proud of you as a Zambian. God bless you. This is Christabel. Christabel, thank you for your message. I will give you some more quickly so that
we thank for the mother. You know, she's Christabel is a mother, and you can hear the sentiment there.
Indeed,
the heart.
Indeed. Let's take this call. Good morning, or rather, good afternoon now.
Hello, good morning.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Your name?
Good afternoon. This is Kim Freddy. Good morning, Mr. Siamunene.
Good morning. Good afternoon. How are you, Clifford?
Afternoon. Mr. Siamunene, I'm just disappointed with one thing.
Yes.
You are saying that even if you are saying that we have a democracy in the PNG,
I think you didn't get me. I think it must be corrected before he goes.
Yes.
I think correct him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Understand. Let me comment. I just want to ask you something. You think Kumakora Zulu kama democracy in PNG. Because so come one when you PNG, I don't see why PNG are so cool. Constituency or certain what the Amakansa is quite divided by PNG. Yes, they come tayari bwino but don't see it kile leadership. Bantu abasalo muntu ibantu whatever yes na wa PNG wa not better side that now in Mton Pacific and seleka chekwa ala sakiti kile sika pia kwa vika pamoja sampa wa vale kwa sema kabake Minnesota tikabeza kwenda vote zinaweza sababu dalungu tenga imina no shout ni na balo soru 00. So this is a very embarrassment. Then you ask, I want to ask a question. There's so much hidden money from the and the money I want to overlay and no one in a copper boat. I don't know if I want to overlay from and do about it. No one but the perspective. Then I want to overlay from the and the I want to overlay and doctor. I never had a book salon. I get a foot to Mukuta. So I want to overlay UPND. So the never under the so can you clarify on that one so that this will win? You think that the church in
Thank you.
That is the
Thank you, Richwell. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time, Honorable, but I will give you one message. It says, morning, and how are you, Mr. Siamunene Mdala? Well spoken. Sometimes we need to remove politics to develop Zambia. You are the person we need. All right. And he says, you have the mind of developing this country and not always condemning. This is the checks and balances we need. This is Peter Zenas. Thank you very much, Peter, for your message. Let me just quickly. There's a condemnation, obviously, that UPD mwaleta fie nsala muchalo 2026 muleya. This is Chama Pakasumbalesa. Yeah, and let me see if I can also give you this one. Morning, Zach and Honorable Siamunene Dani mwana wa Mukunda Kungombe. Zach, so coming to the topic, Honorable, we thank you for the service you rendered to this country. We understand the problems this country is facing. We Zambians are not accusing the UPND for nothing, but only reminding for what they told us. In this case, I think promised us. The question is, what is the status of PND Alliance? Is it registered? Is it a registered entity or not? If not, why are they refusing to register UCA as well? All right. I'm not sure if you'd like to respond to that.
I don't know whether UPND Alliance is registered. I don't know. I don't think they registered it. It was just something, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to deal much with the UCA And
they
have,
yes,
they have the right to associate in make an association of any nature. Every Zambian has a right to do that.
Now, let's conclude, Honorable.
Yes, yeah.
I would like your conclusion as to the fact that we are where we are, and you have sounded yourself right, that where we are, the only thing the situation requires is putting our heads together as countrymen and women and find solutions. What should we do as a country going forward?
I think with what is happening now, it calls for elders.
Right.
We need the elders. I'm
who,
sure there
are
elders.
The elders in this case?
There are elders in this country. They from the churches and all the politicians and so on and so forth.
Right.
We need this to come with the Zambia at the central idea.
Right.
So look, we want to protect Zambia. We want Zambia to be the shining example. And we don't want to leave Zambia that is divided. We need to leave Zambia that is united, where everyone is free to participate in anywhere to express himself. And the last thing that I want to every Zambian, Zambia will only be developed by Zambians. And we can only achieve this goal by having Zambians participating in all business sectors, in all industries, be it mining. Let mining not be the reserve of foreigners. No, we can do something that can make those who are, when I'm talking about Zambia, I'm talking about everyone, even those who are in UPND, they have the right to own a mine. They have the right to do, and let it be done in a manner that it is transparent, because once you have ushered in a political party, that political party now becomes our father, it must take care of the lives of all Zambians. And those who are not in power must respect those who are in power, and that they have, this is their chance to govern. If they don't govern, because we are in the same vehicle, we are moving in the same vehicle, and we have the right to say we are not driving properly here, and this is how you are, because all of us will perish. So where there are no elders, the country cannot have a guidance. So this country needs to be guided. You said well that when you have former vice president, former president, former what, these are the elders, and former chief justice, these are our elders. They need to gather and say, look, no, this is our country. This is how we are supposed to move. And the other aspect, to every Zambian, Zambians, they don't love each other. You would want a business yourself. Another national will want a business. They will be buying from there. And they will say, they want you to be down, Managua, Barikuwaya. So that we start laughing at each other. I think that is not the way. We will not develop the country in that order. Please, Zambian, inculcate love in each one of us.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way we can develop. If we lose love, there is no country that can develop without unity. And you cannot have unity without love. And love, I'm talking about universal love. Doesn't matter whether you belong to PF, whether you belong to UPND, whether you belong to Roman Catholic, whether you belong to SDA, whether you belong, that we should have universal love as one people. These churches, these political parties should not divide us. No, we should have, Zambia should bring us together and develop our country. I think we can do a lot in this country. Zambia will be one of the shining examples. If only we come to terms with the reality and inculcate love in ourselves. We remove selfishness. We remove greediness. And we only remain selfless and love.
Mr. Richwell, Siamunene, former defense minister, what are you doing now? Are you still a politician?
No, I'm not. I'm a businessman now.
You're a businessman now, because now I left this question for last. I left this question for last because
I know that I said this question.
You were a politician before you became number 3 in government.
Yes.
And after that, people are questioning, where are you? What are you doing? look now, I mean, you've seen from messages that have come that people need brains like yours. How can you be of use to this country, and how can you work together with government, if there is need to? What are you doing currently, and what is your relationship with the UPND leadership, considering the fact that you were once in one boat?
Well, the good thing is that I have friends from UPND.
Yes.
And I know UPND have been there,
yes.
and I know PF have interacted with them.
Yes.
They're all good people. They're all good people.
So you're purely in business.
Purely in
you
business.
are not in politics now.
No. I'm conducting business now in that.
Or
regard.
is it one of those which we may not know, that because you were defense minister, you can't do politics after? Anything like that? No,
not in that nature.
Not that all holds you away from politics.
What happens that as a politician or as a Zambian, when in this particular part you've
played
by some reason of some kind, because I associated myself with the PF, then the people there in province Nazonge in particular, they decided no. We didn't want you to associate with the PF.
You betrayed us.
For me in my head, I said, look, I'm a Zambian. I can associate with any person. Because I was in PF that time, I associated myself with the UPND. They were coming to my office. I was again accused of being UPND. I said, no, why do I do? I even attempted to contest a position in PF at a lower level. They said, no, I'm not our member. What do I do? The UPND expelled me. And this side they have said, you are not our member. Why do I do? It was black and white. The election officer said, no. According to us, you are not our member. I said, and I said, no, let me go. That's how I went to the village and started keeping village chicken there. So right now, when you invited me, I said, look, I will be available.
Yes.
I'm a Zambian.
Yes.
I have to participate in the governance of my country, because the decision that I've made will affect me and my children and my children's children. So I have the right to say anything. So whether one feels offended or what, I don't care, but I state my position. It's me now speaking. I don't regard what you say yourself. I don't take care of what other people say about me. No, what I know about myself is what is important. So sometimes when somebody says something against you, you have the right to ignore it, and you will not even cause any problem. But it is not about what people say. It's how you react to what people say. It's what is important. That's how we ignite fire. When they say this, then you respond the other way. Then the whole nation now is on debate. So if you decided to ignore, it will die a natural death. So that is me. For me, people can insult me, can say whatever they can say, but I've decided to say, look, I will not respond to criticism in a negative way, but I will respond to criticism in a positive way. That is a way how I can build myself.
Do you get consulted? Looking at the nature of position that you once held in government,
in Zambia, you see, the problem in Zambia is that we are not conducting government business very well. Sometimes even the ministers, there is no handover. See, I was talking about this thing that I did when I was in the government. So no one has come to me and said, oh, what about this? You see, we feel that running a government is your personal business, where no, it's a national affair. You spend money to go to China. You spend government money to go to India to go and negotiate those. So when you leave office, I think there must be a system how you need to hand over to the next person so that he has to start somewhere. It's like a relay. You have to pass the baton to the next thing. And that's the way it's supposed to be as Zambia. I think that is what we need to do right now. Not to condemn everything that the previous government, even when UPND now come out of power, those who come in power, they will condemn everything. PF was in power. Now everything is being condemned. There's nothing that they are saying, oh, you guys, well done. You did well on this particular, but on this one, you didn't do well. I think we must be fair in our judgment. you can't be wrong in everything, and you can't be right in everything. There are certain deficiencies that you are going to have. So out of that, then you complement, others will complement you on your deficiencies that you have. So you can't be complete. We are human beings, meaning that we are endowed different. There is something that I don't have, which you have, which I need to seek from you. There is something that somebody else has. So that's why it is called a society. Having different individuals who complement each other. Okay? So that is how I understand life. And life is a universe of laws. So laws are paramount in any environment. That's why I'm keeping on insisting that if there are certain flaws that we are seeing, if there are certain conduct that the police are doing, there are certain conduct any government agencies they are doing, that means that there is a loophole somewhere which we need to do so that they will be able to operate in a way that is dignified or desired by the Zambian people.
Honorable Richwell Siamunene, former defense minister, thank you very much for coming. It was a short notice. I'm still very grateful that you made it.
I appreciate your calling, and I appreciate the listeners for having contributed. I think your wisdom was massive. I've taken a number of them, and I will consider.
Great.
Sure.
Well, we'll be calling on you anytime soon, I'm sure, because obviously yours now is the national interest.
Most available.
Indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Well, listeners, that's what we had for you today. Once again, we sincerely apologize that we brought the Thursday edition, this particular edition, late. This was due to the fact that our scheduled guest much earlier, the Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana, was supposed to be our guest, but at the last minute he got assigned and he had to attend to that assignment. But we are, again, once very grateful to Honorable Richwell Siamunene, like I earlier said. He responded to our call at short notice. There you have it. A lot has been shared and a lot has been learned. So we will be back next week at the same time. And thank you very much for having listened. And from us is take care of yourselves and more so of each other. Bye.
Tune in next week.